You're one decision away from making toxic people disappear from your life. No arguments, no revenge, no drama. Just one inner shift that flips everything. Right now, without realizing it, you might be doing small things that quietly tell toxic people, "You can treat me like this, and I won't stop you." But the moment you change that signal, the entire dynamic shifts. The manipulators lose interest, the respectful ones step closer, and the peace you were chasing finally begins to grow inside you. The ancient Stoics understood this truth long before we called it toxicity. Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all warned us, you can't control others, only your reactions. And that's exactly where your power begins. The Stoics faced betrayal, loss, and power struggles that would destroy most people. Yet they stayed calm, not because life was easy, but because they understood something most of us forget. You can't control other people. You can only control your reactions. Epictetus was born a slave. He had no power, no freedom. But even then, he realized, they can chain my body, but not my mind. That's the essence of Stoicism. Your peace depends on you, not on who respects you or who hurts you. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire surrounded by betrayal and lies, yet his journals, written in secret, are filled with one message. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. What does that mean for you today? It means every argument, every toxic interaction, every manipulative game only continues because you participate in it. The moment you stop giving it energy, the moment you choose silence over reaction, you take your power back. That's the quiet discipline the Stoics lived by. It's not coldness. It's not indifference. It's control. And the truth is, the calmer you become, the faster toxic people lose interest, because they can't feed on peace. They need chaos. And once you stop serving it, they simply disappear. Here's where everything begins to change. The moment someone triggers you, a sarcastic comment, a disrespectful tone, a subtle jab, you usually react instantly. Your stomach tightens, your mind races, and before you know it, you're explaining, defending, or snapping back. That's the trap. Because the second you react, you've confirmed something dangerous. They control your emotions. And toxic people, consciously or not, live off that control. They push buttons just to watch you move. The Stoics had a different strategy. They practiced what Epictetus called the pause of power. When insulted or provoked, they didn't fight back immediately. They waited. A breath, a silence, a moment of stillness. Try it. The next time someone throws negativity away, count to 3. Slowly. 1, 2, 3. Breathe deeply. Keep your face relaxed. Then answer with calm, neutral words. All right, if you say so. Noted. No tone, no defense, no visible reaction. What happens next is powerful. Their script breaks. They expected drama, argument, emotion, but instead they get stillness. And that stillness is something they can't manipulate. The first time you do this, they'll be confused. The second time, frustrated. The third time, they'll lose interest because you're no longer feeding them chaos. You've taken back control of the one thing that truly belongs to you, your reaction. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You always have the power of no opinion. When you choose not to react, you choose peace. And when peace becomes your default, toxic people fade away on their own. But that's only the first shift, because the next mistake, the one almost everyone makes, is explaining too much. And that's exactly what keeps manipulators in your orbit. Let's talk about that. One of the most draining habits we all have is explaining ourselves to people who have already decided not to understand us. You defend your choices, you clarify your intentions, you repeat your truth over and over, hoping they'll finally see your heart. But they won't, because toxic people don't want understanding. They want control. The more you explain, the deeper you sink into their web, trying to prove something to someone who enjoys watching you doubt yourself. That's why Stoicism teaches, don't waste words on the unteachable. Marcus Aurelius didn't argue with fools. He wrote to himself instead, building strength in silence. You don't owe anyone long explanations for your boundaries, your decisions, or your peace. A simple no or that doesn't work for me is enough. The need to justify comes from insecurity, the desire to be seen as good. But peace isn't about being seen. It's about being centered. Every time you over-explain, you leak energy. Every time you stay silent, you store it. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Let them think you're cold. Let them misunderstand. Because while they're busy talking, you're busy healing the Stoic. At argue, the Stoic simply walks away and lets truth reveal itself with time. That's emotional discipline. That's real power. And once you master it, the final step is learning how to protect that calm permanently, even when life keeps testing you. That's what we'll uncover next. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing what you feel. It's about mastering it. The Stoics never said, don't feel. They said, don't let feelings become your ruler. Marcus Aurelius felt anger. Seneca felt frustration. Epictetus felt pain. But they refused to act from it. Because emotion is a signal, not a command. When someone tries to provoke you, your body reacts. Tension, heartbeat, heat. That's natural. What's powerful is what happens next. Instead of reacting, observe. Watch the emotion rise. Feel it, but don't move with it. That's emotional discipline. The space between the trigger and your response. That's where your peace lives. Every time you practice it, you grow stronger. The insults bother you less. The noise fades faster. The world loses its grip on your emotions. Eventually, you reach a point where your calm becomes unshakable. Not because life is easy, but because you've trained your mind to stay still inside the storm. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. That's the real freedom, not needing the world to behave for you to stay centered. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You don't need to prove your worth through reaction. You just need peace and the discipline to protect it. And here's the truth. When you finally stop chasing emotional control over others, you start owning emotional control over yourself. That's when everything changes. The chaos outside continues, but inside, you're untouchable, calm, clear, free. Here's the paradox of Stoicism. You don't win by fighting harder. You win by refusing to play the game. Toxic people lose their grip the moment you stop trying to prove your worth to them. Silence becomes your strategy. Calm becomes your defense. Detachment becomes your power. The world tells you to react, to clap back, to show them who you are. But Stoicism whispers something deeper. You already know who you are. You don't need to prove it. Every insult you ignore is a victory. Every boundary you keep without explanation is strength. Every time you stay calm when you could have exploded, you rise above the game entirely. Because power isn't loud. Power is quiet. It's self-control in chaos. It's dignity under fire. The Stoics called it virtue. Today we call it peace. And when you live that way, when your mind becomes still even in noise, people start to wonder, how you do it. That's your proof. Not words, not explanations. Just presence. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, smile, because you've built a calm they can't touch, and that's the ultimate power. Pause beat. If this message spoke to you, stay in this space. This is where we learn how to protect peace in a world addicted to noise. Subscribe, reflect, and remember. You can't control the world, but you can always control yourself. Peace isn't found once. It's built moment by moment. Every sunrise gives you a choice. React or respond. Chase or observe. Fight or flow. You'll still feel anger. You'll still feel pain, but you'll start to see them for what they are. Passing waves, not permanent storms. The Stoics didn't wait for life to get easier. They became stronger within it. They journaled every morning, not to complain, but to prepare their minds for the day. They ended each night with reflection, not guilt, but gratitude. You can do the same. In the morning, ask yourself, what's within my control today? At night, whisper, did I stay true to myself? That's how peace grows, quietly, consistently, almost invisibly, until one day you realize the chaos that once controlled you now feels distant. You still see it, but it can't reach you anymore because you've built something sacred, a mind that no longer breaks when the world shakes. That's stoicism. That's mastery. That's freedom. Soft pause. If this message grounded you, take a breath. Let the silence sit with you. Then carry it with you into your next conversation, your next challenge, your next day. Remember, the goal isn't to escape the world, it's to move through it, untouched. In the end, Stoicism isn't about being cold, it's about staying alive in a world that tries to numb you. It's choosing awareness over reaction, purpose over noise, depth over distraction. The truth is, you can't stop people from being who they are, but you can stop giving them the power to decide who you become. That's what it means to be untouchable. Not hard, but steady. Not emotionless, but anchored. Because peace doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. Not to people, but to the moment, to life itself. The Stoics knew this. That's why. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, could face betrayal, war, and death, and still write, "The obstacle is the way," because the storm doesn't destroy the wise, it reveals them. And maybe that's the point of every challenge, every toxic person, every test of your patience, to show you how much calmer, wiser, and freer you can become. The lesson isn't about them, it's about you. You, mastering the art of stillness. You, learning to walk away with peace instead of anger. You, realizing your silence is worth more than their noise. So the next time chaos knocks, open the door with calm eyes. And remember, no one can touch a mind that's mastered itself. Pause beat. Ambient fade out. You are the calm in the storm. You are the silence in the noise. And this is what true strength sounds like. The truth is simple. Toxic people don't hold power over you unless you hand it to them. Every reaction you give, every over-explanation, every chase for approval, it's energy you don't need to spend. The Stoics taught us centuries ago that control is internal. Your mind, your choices, your boundaries, these are yours alone. Start small. Take one step this week. Pause before reacting. Speak only what's necessary or create quiet boundaries. Watch how people adjust. Watch how your world shifts. Some will respect your space, some will fade away. That is not loss, that is clarity. That is freedom. That is peace. Remember, it isn't about fighting or proving yourself, it's about choosing your calm every single day. And when you do that, toxic people naturally disappear, leaving room for respect, growth, and the life you actually want. Your power has always been within you. Now, it's time to use it.